Hi guys, today in this video I'll be demonstrating how to use Informatica Debugger to debug your mapping, and then I'll be showing how to use Informatica log files to debug your mapping. For the demonstration purpose, I have created a simple mapping which reads data from an employee table, then combines the employee's first name and last name in an expression, then writes into a table. Okay, let's get the debugger started. For that, go to mapping and click on the debugger and start debugger. Okay, now it's going to give you a prerequisite for running the debugger, so click on next, and it's going to ask you for the integration service name, and it's going to ask you for the session. You can choose an existing session, or you can choose an existing reusable session, or you can create a session right here, but I would recommend you to use the session which is already created, because if you create a session right now, it will not give you all the properties which is available in the workflow manager. Okay, so click on next. Now it's going to show you the sessions which is attached to this mapping, so select that session, click on next. Now it's going to ask you if you want to discard the target data. That means the target data is not going to be returned to the target table, and if you want to see the target data while the debugger is running, you can choose that from here. Okay, click on finish. Now you can see the debugger is active, and you can see two new windows. In the data display window, you'll be able to see how the data is passing through each transformation. In the target data display window, you'll be able to see how the data is going to get loaded into the target table. Now go to the mapping and debugger and click on next instance. Okay, now you can see that the source qualifier has been highlighted, and you can see a moving arrow here. Okay, and in the data display window, you can see how the data is being read by the source qualifier. Okay, now click on F10, which is the shortcut for the next instance. Okay, now you can see the highlight has been moved to the expression transformation, and the data display window, you can see how the data is processed within the expression. Okay, and if you see here, the last name and first name is combined together. Okay, now click on F10 again. Okay, now you can see the first record is processed completely, and it is getting loaded to the target table. Okay, on the same time, you can see in the data display window, the second record is being read from the source qualifier. Okay, click on F10 again. Okay, now it is moved to the expression transformation, and you can see how the second record is being processed through the expression. Okay, here in this mapping, I'm just interested to see how the data is processed through the expression. Okay, and I won't worry about how the data is processed through the source qualifier. Okay, for that, what you can do is click on the expression transformation. Okay, and go to mapping, debugger, and click on step 2 next instance. Okay, now you can see that it skipped the source qualifier transformation, and it's showing the record number 3, which is being processed by the expression transformation. Okay, click on Control F10 again, which is the shortcut for step 2 next instance. Okay, now you can see that it skipped the source qualifier again, and it's showing the fourth record in the expression transformation. Okay, meanwhile you can see that the third record is being processed to the target table. Okay, click on Control F10 again. Okay, now all the records have been processed, and you can see all 4 records in the target display. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to set up breakpoints. Using the breakpoints, you can quickly skip on to different records and see how that particular record is being processed. Here in this example, I want to put breakpoint on employee ID 200 and 202, and I'm going to put the breakpoint on the expression. Okay, go to the expression, do a right click, and click on edit breakpoints. Okay, and click on add here. Now I'm going to give the condition on which the breakpoint has to be set. Okay, click on the add button and choose the port name. Okay, and I'm going to say 200 here. Okay, I'm going to add one more breakpoint. Okay, and I'm going to say this breakpoint will be on employee ID 202. Okay, if you notice here, we can have two type of breakpoints. One is the data breakpoint. That means you can tell the debugger to stop whenever a particular data is being processed. Okay, and the other one is error breakpoint. That means you can set the debugger to stop whenever there is an error. So now I have set two breakpoints. First one is the breakpoint on employee ID, and it's going to stop on employee ID 200, and the second one is employee ID 202. Okay, click on OK. Now let's go to mapping, debugger, click on continue. Now you can see that the debugger has started and directly go to the expression, and it stopped on employee ID 200. Okay, now go to the mapping again, debugger, click on continue. Now you can see that the debugger has gone through the employee ID 201 and it stopped on 202, and you can see how the data is being processed in the expression. Okay, this was the second and last breakpoint we have set up. Now if you click on F5, it's going to complete the debugger. Okay, if you go to mapping, debugger, and you can see evaluate expression, it's going to open an expression editor for you. Here in this expression editor, you can give any valid expression, and that's going to give you the value on the fly. Okay, now let's give an expression here. Do an evaluate. You can see the value of that expression on the fly. Okay, this is really useful when you have a very complex expression and you can validate the expression on the fly. Okay, now click on F5 again to close the debugger. Now let's go ahead and see how we can use the log file for the debugging purpose. I have opened the workflow which we just used for the debugging purpose. Now let's go to the session, go to the configuration object, and set up some properties here. See here you can see override tracing. Okay, and when you click on the drop down, you can see different levels of tracing. Okay, choose the verbose data, click on OK. Now save and run your workflow. Go to the workflow monitor. Okay, the session is succeeded. Go to the session log file, and here you can see much more information than the normal session log. Okay, scroll down to the session log. Once you scroll down, you'll be able to see how the data is being read from the source, how it is being processed to each transmission. Okay, there you go. Here you can see how the data is being read from the source qualifier. Here you can see the source qualifier name, and here you can see this is the first record, and you can see the employee ID and the data, department ID, and the data, last name, first name, and all the other columns. Again, here you can see the second record and see all the information. Okay, scroll down again. If you look at here, you can see data from the source qualifier is sent to the expression. Okay, you can see the employee ID, department ID, last name, first name, and all the other columns. Okay, and this is the first record. If you come here, you can see the second record, and you can see all the information. Okay, and the same way you can see the third record and fourth record. Okay, if you scroll down, you can see how the data is being received to the expression. Okay, you can read here expression name input row push from source qualifier. Okay, this is the first record. Here you can see the employee ID, department ID, and all the information. Here you can see the second record, third record, and fourth record. If you scroll down again, you can see how the data is being sent out of the expression to the target. Okay, if you notice here, the first name and last name is not missing here, and it is combined to the column name. Okay, and it's the first record, second record, third record, and fourth record. Go down again. Here you can see how the target is receiving the input data from the expression. Here you see the first record, second record, third record, and fourth record. Okay, this is how you can set up your session log file to get enough information, and that information can be used for your debugging purpose. Okay, in some cases you may not need to see all the information from all the transformation. Here in this example, I'm just interested to see the information about the expression. Okay, for that what you can do is go to the workflow manager, open the session, go to the configuration object, and revert the overlay tracing, go to the mapping, and choose the expression or the transformation where you need the debugging information. Okay, go to the tracing level and choose the verbose data. Click on apply. Okay, save and start your workflow. Go to the workflow monitor. Here you can see the workflow is succeeded. Open the log file. Okay, if you scroll down you can see just the detail level information for the expression. Okay, here you can see how the data is being sent into the expression transformation in the source qualifier. You can see all the 4 records. Okay, and if you scroll down again you can see how the data is sent out of the expression transformation to the target. Okay, and you do not see how the data is being processed in the source qualifier, and you do not see how the data is being processed in the target. Okay, I recommend you to use the session log file for your debugging purpose, because this is much faster than the debugger, and here you can go through multiple records at the same time, and here you can specifically see the information about one specific transformation. Because of all these reasons, I recommend you to use session log file for your debugging purpose. Okay, that's all guys for this video. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll be able to get the list of training session, training manual, and much more information just for the fans. Thank you guys, hope you enjoyed this video. See you again for the next video. Bye bye.